Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap, and today in our success story series we have Miss Ankita with us. She has recently cleared RBI Grade B 2021 examination, and today we will know about all the strategies and sources she followed while preparing for the examination, and we'll also be knowing about the learnings she had while preparing. So, hello ma'am, how are you?
Thank you for inviting me. I'm good.
So, first of all, heartiest congratulations for the big achievement.
Thank you.
Right. So, before knowing about all the sources that you preferred for different subjects, let us first know about your education qualification and also how you ended up preparing for RBI.
Sure. So I did my graduation from IIT Roorkee in electrical engineering. So I graduated in 2017, and post that I worked in Oracle for 2 years. So in 2019, then I decided to prepare for civil services, and I left my job. And at the same time, I got to know that RBI is also out. The notification is out, and my friends they told me ki go for it. So I felt it like I didn't have much knowledge, but then I applied and I gave the pre, cleared the pre, but I couldn't clear the mains. So I missed by 1 mark.
That must have, that must have sucked.
Yeah, it was, but yeah, it was a learning experience for me. So when again in 2021 the notification came, I was better prepared for the whole examination.
Right. So in 2019, the second phase was more of the objective, but in 21 that you have given in that descriptive has also been added. So what was your reaction? Because you must be preparing according to that pattern only, and then suddenly when the notification you came out and you just looked at and descriptive was also there. So what was the reaction and how did you tackle with it?
So for me, I guess description was a blessing in disguise.
Right.
I was preparing for UPSC,
Yeah.
so description was like something that I was more comfortable with, and yeah, so I was happy with it.
Right. So what we'll go, we'll start with phase one, and then we'll move ahead to phase two, and then to the interview. How was it? So for phase one, because you're from, you have done engineering, so you must be good with quant and reasoning section, but still revision is required because when you are preparing for CSC, that is for IS only. Maths is not asked in that. So what was your strategy for the preparation?
So I had very limited time in 2019. So what my strategy was, I did mocks. Like I enrolled for two test series, and I gave to around 20 tests. So for QRE, that is quant, reasoning, and English, I mostly did from the mocks. Like I am, so it's more about the aptitude and practice. So I practice lot from the mocks. Even I did the sectional tests. So that was the strategy for QRE, and for GA it was a bit difficult because a lot of facts are asked, very small facts about the budget allocation and all. So for that my strategy was to refer to the previous year questions. So I found out that there are some questions like every year they ask on some army exercises and all. Like this year they have changed a lot, but it worked for 2019.
Right.
So I guess referring to the previous year questions definitely helps. It gives you an idea like what sort of questions they will ask. And then I referred to the EduTap marathon series. I made notes out of it and I revised it multiple times. So that was my strategy for 2019. And for 2021, I had like again QRE I gave mocks on, and for GA I prepared from the marathon series again, and I had Affairs Cloud magazine. So current affairs I followed around 5-6 months from there.
Right. So for reasoning, is it something like how would you rate it? Was it something like that has been asked in banking examination, or was it quite easier than comparison to that?
So this year they changed a lot. Like it was very tough. Like they don't even ask such questions in CAT. So it was very tough level. But yeah, again, since my basics were clear, so it was not much enough issue. But yeah, the attempts were low, and then even the cutoffs are very low if you see. So the overall impact was there because the paper was tough.
Right.
But again, for reasoning, I think the practice is very important. So you have to analyze what sort of questions are asked. So there are puzzles, and there are few bases, like few points, and then on basis of that only you have to work on. So practicing is the key for it.
Right, for QRE, for both quant and reasoning, it is good if you do more and more mock
Yeah.
test for it. And for GA, it's better to just read the data.
Yeah, it's more of mugging, I guess.
Yeah.
So you have to mug a lot the facts, and then yes, you have to then attempt it. Like for me, the strategy was I used to attempt lots of questions. I would get wrong, but then the positives were more. So again, it varies from person to person. If you know that your accuracy is good, then you should attempt low, like accordingly. So I guess that comes from mocks. Like when you practice the mocks, you would know how much to attempt. And again, like when you go to the paper hall, you see the question paper, and accordingly you should answer. So this time it was very tough. Even the GA, it was like ESI paper. Yeah, they had given paragraphs, and then you had to like there was a blank given, and you had to choose from the options. So it was a very different change. So I think you should refer to this year's paper if you're preparing for next year, because there was a very shift in the sort of paper they set.
Right. And what about English section?
For English, again, I refer to the mocks. I didn't like study anything. But then there are questions like they're on verbs and adverbs. So
Basic questions.
yeah. So there is a book like I used to refer to my 10th class. That's the book I still have it.
Right.
So yeah. But I guess most of practice I used to do.
Right. So this was for phase 1. Now coming to phase 2 with the changed pattern. So we'll first know about the sources that you preferred for different subjects, and then we'll know about how to write a descriptive answer, because many people, they have information, they can refer to the sources, but they do not know how to frame them. Right. So we'll start with ESI.
Yeah.
What were the sources that you prefer, or what do you think is the best way to study this?
I can't say the best way, but I can definitely tell what worked for me. So I refer to Mrunal's lectures since I was preparing for UPSC as well. So that was definitely a great help. And for descriptive part, I feel that it is more predictable. So in the sense that you have the syllabus in front of you, there are lots of keywords that are given in the syllabus. Say poverty is given, or growth and development is given. So what my strategy was, I used to prepare short notes. Like I would prepare some introduction, some conclusion, and then based on the question, I would modify the body.
Right.
So like for poverty also, you need to know the committees, and you can just give it as a passing reference. So that used to help a lot. So I feel for descriptive, just prepare short notes based on the syllabus. Yes.
So for descriptive also, did you feel like that those questions were something that is for now the national issue, or they were just more of a static question type of questions?
Since it was the first time, I guess it was more on the static side.
Right.
But we can never say like what RBI might have in surprise for the next years. So you should prepare for both. And again, like if you have a static question as well, you should give references for the current events as well. You need to give reports. So World Bank, IMF ka, all these reports you should know, and just give it as a passing reference. Ki World Bank report में ease of doing business में हमारा ये rank है and stuff. So that adds to the value. And plus, what I used to follow was the intro, body, and conclusion format. So your words are also done. Like some people, they have this issue कि कम लिखा जा रहा है, words का issue. So that is also done if you follow this strategy. And if you can, at times there are pointers. I give pointers. So that is again like if you can write in paragraphs, or you can follow the pointer strategy. Both work fine.
Right. So did you bold the words also, or you just went for simply writing?
I think it was not there. As far as I remember, the bold or underline was not there. It was plain answer. So I would give paragraphs. Yeah. And even like in the paragraph, there was this thing, if you type spacebar once, and if you press spacebar again, it will just be counted once. And if you press spacebar, then you can't press enter. You have to just press enter. So right. So there are few things like they give
limitations they have made.
They tell it even before the exam itself. These things are there, the instructions. So I think you need to be thorough with the instructions as well.
Right. And one need to, I guess, practice more also, because with such limited time you have to frame answer also. Then you have to type that also.
Yeah, so typing is again, an issue that few people face.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to. But this time the interface was good. I was quite happy with it because last year in the English section the interface was very bad. Like you have to scroll vertically and diagonally, everything like vertically and horizontally.
Yeah.
It was pain. But this year the interface was good. Like you can read the question is there and the answer is like the area is provided below itself and you can see the whole answer that you're typing. So that was good in that sense. And yeah, you need to practice typing as well. And for that, I think you should start making notes on like digital platform itself. It will help in like you're making notes as well, and at the same time, your typing is also being practiced.
And what about FM? How you prepared for that?
For FM, I think management is easy. Easy in the sense that the questions are a bit predictable and the syllabus is very limited. And this time they even
reduced.
Yeah, they have reduced. So it was easy. And if you have read it properly and if you have made notes, it's really good. So it's very scoring. I've seen people they scoring 80 as well on 100 in FNM. So yeah, FNM one should definitely go. It's so if you see ESI, the cost benefit ratio is very poor because there are lots of schemes, there are lots of material to read, and you never know like from where the question can come. But for FNM, you know कि मैनेजमेंट का ये सिलेबस है, इसमें से क्वेश्चन आएगा, मैथ्स लोग की थ्योरी से पूछ लेंगे वरना दूसरे से पूछ लेंगे, तो मतलब it's relatively easier as compared to ES, and I never scored good marks in ES. Like FNM was a savior.
Right. So what sources did you prefer for that? You have made notes, right?
Yeah. So in 2019, I had bought this EduTap course for ESI and FM for phase 2, like the entire phase 2. So for finance and management, I made notes out of it, and this time I refer to my notes only.
Right. So because you have also prepared for civil services, so what do you think was the level of the questions? Like, were they asked in depth, or were they in general questions that one can attempt if they have the surface knowledge of the topics?
So for descriptive, if you see, the questions were basic, I would say this time. So even if you have a faint idea, you can write a good answer. And yeah, again, you give the reports, and so these things are there. Like you have to give passing reference, and so I even followed the EduTap ka mind map series, the descriptive. It's available on YouTube. So you have mind maps, and it's very good. So they'd give like say if it's about financial inclusion, so they'll give the definition and they'll just tell ki these are 3 keywords that you have to mention no matter what, and then you have to explain and some facts like
that are related to that.
See, India में इतना financial inclusion है या फिर RBI की report में इतना बोला है, annual report, and even all these things, the RBI की reports you should know. कि you can give it as a passing reference कि RBI report में ये था, annual report में. So yeah.
Right. So this was for the second phase where you focused much on the reports and schemes as well, because that is what makes your answer stand out from the rest.
Yeah, so I would like to mention one more thing. So I had joined again test series for the objective part because that is a point that where I lack. So for descriptor I had made notes, and for objective I practiced a lot of questions. So yeah, that was my strategy.
And for English, what kind of questions is asked in English descriptive? Like, what can we expect in that?
So if you see the previous year questions, there is one comprehension, and there are three, four questions next to it. You have to write answers on the basis of comprehension, and then there is a Prezi. So for English, I think practice you need, and then there's one essay. So what I did was I again practice mocks. For Prezi, you need to know you have to give a title. I think it was mentioned specifically that you don't have to mention title. You have to just refer to the instructions, whatever is given, and just follow that. So yeah, for Prezi again, I referred to a few online sources as well. Google Pay, how to write a good Prezi affair, what is the way about it. So you have to write it in 1/3 words, and you have to include the main points and not just repeat what is written there. So these are few basic things.
Right. For example, as an ESI, in descriptive, one can expect that question will be from this syllabus only.
Yes.
And for FM also, there is a limited syllabus that we have to study. But in case of essays for English, like what kind of questions are asked? Are they random, or they about some serious national issue, or what kind of it is basically?
So there are 4 or 5 options. From that you have to write one, and I wasn't able to figure out like what pattern they follow.
Hmm.
So for me, it was my strategy was I prepared a few pointers on say health and education, agriculture, so some basic issues and even the current issues. I made few small notes about quotes. Maybe I'd write a quote in the beginning or maybe in the ending. So like there's a vastly, as you mentioned, ki you don't have a particular syllabus for it.
Right.
So yeah, I just prepare the main topics for it.
Yeah, some major things that is happening across India that is of major concern to us. For example, health sector or per se agriculture.
Yeah, so like if you have so if health is there, then what are the schemes that are started by the government? I just make short notes, ठीक है? तो मतलब लिख दिया कि हाँ government is doing all these things, and then कि हमारा अभी status क्या है as compared to world क्या है? Like हाँ मतलब.
And these are some in general topics that you can use anywhere.
Yeah.
You can just link it somehow and you just come to the different schemes that are running across India. Right. So this was for phase 2. Now moving ahead with the interview, that is the third step for getting into RBI. So there are two school of thoughts. One says that the panel it is quite cordial and they encourage you a lot to give you answer. And the second one is that straight face, not interested, not so interested panel. So what is your experience about it? What kind of panel did you face?
So I'd say my panel was very cordial.
Right.
Like few people that went ahead of me, they told me that they are grilling. Yeah. So mine was 10th number. And like 3-4 people who went in the beginning, they were saying that they're grilling a lot. Then mine was post lunch, so I guess so it was very cordial.
Maybe they were hungry before.
Maybe. So yeah, interview is a rough patch. You never know like what the board might, like what is the state of mind or how they are evaluating, even that you don't know.
Right. Maybe that depends on the candidate also, how they are taking it.
Yeah.
Maybe they were with good with them also, but they felt like maybe they are grilling. Or maybe they were grilling you also, but you didn't feel like that.
Yeah, so for interview, I feel confidence is the key. So even at times there are you face some question that you don't know the answer of. You can definitely you can easily say I don't know the answer, and they would move on to the next question. Because if you even give wrong answer, they would start going in depth for that, and that is not good for you.
Right.
So what I would do is if I don't know, I'll just say sorry sir, I don't know, I'll read about it, and they would move on to some other topic. So.
And what kind of question were they asked? Did they ask questions from your education qualification, or were they from the biodata that you have submitted? How was it?
Yeah, so it was biodata specific, and they asked me how will you use your engineering skills in RBI. Then they asked me which department would you like to join. So it's one of the famous questions that they ask.
All right.
Yeah, so I had said financial inclusion. So my next question they
asked from that only.
Yeah, they even asked me what all have you read for the interview. So I said I refer to the website, and then I even the speeches of the governor, they are really good. I mean, even if you're referring to the phase 2, I would say they are really good because the governor, he would cover everything. Even the small aspect that RBI is doing, or say financial inclusion only. So there was this thing, they are bringing a new financial inclusion index, and what are the parameters of it. So it would help in the objective as well, because they would ask you what are the parameters for it. Even the digital payment index wala parameter is there. So these are small things that I feel that RBI governor speeches are really good. So I used to watch it YouTube pe I would play, and it was good. And even they have it on the website, the whole note. So that I did. Apart from that, for interview we had a lot of time to prepare because the second wave
it came.
Yeah. So we had a group of 8 people, and we read RBI annual report through and through.
Right.
Second, we also refer to this RBI functions and working book. So they have mentioned what are the departments and what are the functions of each of these. So all those things also we read. So they asked me one question, what are the functions of RBI? Mention the major functions, something like that. So yeah.
Yeah, so you should have a basic knowledge of the institution that you are that you want to go to, right? And what about? Did I ask you about why you left job or about UPSC per se?
So yeah, I left in 2019. I wanted to prepare for UPSC.
So did they ask you about that or grilled you for that?
So they asked me, ki, are you preparing for UPSC? I said yes, because there's no point in lying.
Yeah.
So they didn't ask any further questions from that.
Okay, that went good for you.
Yeah. But it also gives a basic idea. Like they would ask me questions. They won't ask me very banking related questions because I don't have background in it. So I think I don't know how it works, but it kind of worked in favor for me.
Right. So Miss Ankita, she says that for phase one, more than if you already have good command in QRE or per se English, you just go for more and more mock tests because revision is the key for it. And then for GA, she followed various sources, magazines she followed, and she focused much on the data because that is what RBI asked in examination for GA. Then for phase two, she had her sources for ESI and FM that she has already told. And then for descriptive, she says that it is very important if your typing is good and as well as if you segregate different sections, you should go with intro, body, and conclusion. That would help you to frame an answer. As well as she also told that for descriptive also you have to go for more and more reports and schemes that you can mention in it, which would make your answer different from the rest of the population who are appearing for the examination and who are just giving vague answer. So your solution should not be vague. You should have authentic data, and you should also mention from which report you are saying that this particular data it belong to. Apart from that, she also tells about the interview, and she says that you need not to lie about it. If you're doing something or if you don't know something, you just have to be honest with it, and confidence is the key. You don't have to worry about if you don't know anything or if something that you may have thought of they didn't ask or they asked something opposite to it, because it happens. Right, so I guess is there something that I have left?
I think you've covered almost everything. Yeah, one more thing I'd like to add is refer to the previous year questions. It gives you a very good idea about what questions you might expect.
Right. So people who are appearing for 2022, you must refer questions of 21 to have an idea that what kind of questions have been asked in examination. Per se, if you are reading a report but you don't know what kind of questions are asked from that, there's no use of it. Either you would have to study everything in it, and there is a lot of data. You can't even remember. In from one report, there's so much data. So it's better to have an understanding that what questions is asked and prepare accordingly.
It helps you to like analyze the areas that you need to focus more on, and cost benefit ratio will also be good. Like if I focus more on management and I know direct questions will come from it, I am like increasing my chances of getting more marks. And again, if I go to ESI, this like the syllabus is very vast. So yeah, you need to read very selectively. Again, as you mentioned in reports also, you don't just have to go through the whole report. You just have to be very selective. And yeah, YouTube videos like the marathon series, I'd say it's really good. The EduTap one, it was like my go-to thing just before the phase one or phase two.
Yeah, and in fact, one more thing that she did some of the key topics from the syllabus where she can link it to anywhere. For example, she did poverty, so she knew she can link it anywhere in the ESI section. Right, and for English also she went for some in general topics that are kind of national issues, or not even issues, but yeah, national topics per se. She did for health sector, she did for agriculture, because these are some things that are always in news. So do prepare such key topics which you know are related to your subject, that is present in a syllabus as well, and then you can use it anywhere.
And I would like to mention one more thing. So there is no watertight compartment. You can't use something that you read in ESI and not like you can't mention it in FNM. So you can mention even those details there. So there is no watertight compartmentalization, and like even you can refer it to in essays.
Right.
So just
but one should know how to use that.
Yeah, just use all your knowledge for the answers specifically that you're writing, descriptive ones.
Right. So something that you want to say to the aspirants who are preparing for RBI?
So I'd like to say again the same things that refer to the syllabus, stick to the syllabus, go through the previous year questions. That is very important. Third, do lots and lots of practice, the mock tests. Revision is again very important. So if you have read once and you don't revise, I think it's a waste of time. So yeah, revise at least twice or thrice.
Right.
And yeah, just be confident when you go to the exam hall. Just don't be nervous. It's okay to be nervous, but then you don't have to lose your calm just
Right.
before the exam. So yeah, and again attempt according to the paper, the level of paper. So this time it was a bit on the tougher side, so you don't have to just panic and think "Ki nahi ho raha" or something like that.
Right, because if the examination is tough, the cutoff will be less
Yes.
only.
And it will be
Hmm.
tough for everyone. So just trust yourself and trust your strategy, and just all the best.
Right. So thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us, for sharing your strategy for cracking the examination, and I'm sure this is going to help a lot of aspirants for future.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am, for coming.